All right, architect, welcome. Welcome to the Metropolis of Efficiency. Now, in this city, we're not content to just see the future, we're actually here to build it. It's funny. A lot of leaders find themselves in this weird spot. They're sitting on a literal mountain of data. They've got perfect forecasts, crystal clear insights, but they're stuck, completely paralyzed. They can't make a single move. So what's going on there? Well, that huge gap, that chasm between knowing what's going to happen and knowing what to do about it, that's where strategy just falls apart. But hey, that's also where our work begins, right here in the world of prescriptive analytics. This is where things get real. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're leaving the clouds of prediction and getting our hands dirty in the world of action. We're going to take that foresight and forge it into a rock-solid mathematical blueprint, a plan for making the single best decision. Okay, so first things first. Before an architect can build anything, they have to draw, right? Every great city, every perfectly tuned system, it all starts with a master blueprint. And for us, that blueprint is defined by just 3 fundamental tools. The first tool in our kit, that's our decision variables. Just think of them as the actual levers and dials you can physically control. The prices you're going to set, the resources you decide to allocate, the paths you choose to follow. These are your moves. All right, next up, we need our objective function. Imagine this like a giant, shining beacon right in the middle of our city. It's our North Star. It's our singular focus. Maybe it's maximizing profit, maybe it's minimizing costs. Whatever it is, that beacon is the one and only measure of our success. It's non-negotiable. And last but not least, we've got our constraints. I like to think of these as, like invisible laser walls that define the edges of your world. Your budget, your capacity, your time, these are the hard limits. They're the absolute boundaries of what you can do. Now look at the space inside those laser walls. That's what we call the feasible region. It's the only place where reality exists, the only sandbox where a workable solution can actually live. Anything, and I mean anything outside those barriers, it's a ghost. It's a phantom strategy that looks cool but can never, ever happen. Okay, so our blueprint is perfect. Now we've got to bring it to life. The thing is, this great machine we're going to use to build our city, it's blind. It has absolutely zero intuition. It can only see the connections and relationships that you explicitly draw for it. So how do we make it see? We have to build a bridge. We need to connect how we're using our resources, what we call the left-hand side, to the hard limits of our world, the right-hand side. And that left-hand side, it can't just be a number. It has to be a living, breathing formula that changes and recalculates every single time we pull one of those decision levers. And this is super important, because if you mess this up, if that link is broken, if your left-hand side is just a static number, the machine is still blind. It has no idea how your choices are using up your resources. And the whole thing just collapses. Your model becomes totally useless. But, sometimes you can do everything right. Your machine is perfectly calibrated, and it gives you an answer that is mathematically perfect, but completely impossible in the real world. We have a name for this. It's the 3.4 trucks problem. The model spits out this perfect answer. To be optimal, you need to hire 3.4 trucks. Great, except you can't hire 40% of a truck, can you? So that perfect theoretical answer is just an illusion. It's a mirage you can't actually reach. And that's exactly why we have to step in and basically teach the machine about physical reality. We use things called integer constraints to force it to use whole numbers for stuff like, trucks. And we use binary variables for simple yes or no choices. By doing this, we're disciplining the machine. We're forcing it to give us a strategy that isn't just mathematically pretty, but one we can actually do something with. So now we have a machine that works and understands reality. The next step is to choose its engine, its power core. And trust me, this choice is a big deal. It's the difference between finding a small hill of profit and discovering an entire mountain range of it just waiting over the horizon. This is what we call the trap of the local optimum. It's a solution that looks fantastic from where you're standing. It feels like the best possible answer. But what you don't realize is that there's a much, much better answer, the global optimum, just over the hill, completely out of sight. So, as the architect, you've got 3 engines to choose from. First, there's the Simplex LP. It's the speed demon for straightforward, linear problems. Then you have the GRG nonlinear. It's great for smooth, curvy problems, but be warned, it can easily get stuck in one of those local optimums. And finally, you have the evolutionary engine.
This is your heavy-duty, all-terrain vehicle for really complex problems. It's slow, but it's your best shot at finding that true global peak.
All right, we've got the theory. Now it's time to put all these skills to the test. We're facing a real crisis in the Metropolis, a puzzle so complex that just going with your gut feeling is pretty much guaranteed to fail. The challenge comes to us from a company called Echo Office Supplies. Here's their problem. They have to set new prices for 18 different products. But, and this is a big but, their two biggest customer groups want completely opposite things. They're totally at odds with each other. And just look at this web of constraints. We're talking about one single price list that has to hit very specific and different revenue targets for both groups simultaneously. The space where a solution can even exist, that feasible region we talked about, is incredibly tiny and twisted. There's no way a person could figure this out just by guessing.
But by firing up the right engine, in this case that heavy-duty evolutionary solver, the great machine can just churn through thousands and thousands of scenarios. And what does it find? It finds the global optimum, the one single pricing strategy that threads the needle perfectly, minimizing the total revenue loss to an incredible -4.87%.
So think about what we just did. We went all the way from a simple blueprint to solving a really complex business crisis. And in the process, we've shown that this kind of disciplined, mathematical approach, it's not just another option to gut feel. In cases like this, it's way, way better. So remember this journey, architect, because these tools, optimization, simulation, they are what separate the people who guess from the people who actually build the future. And it leaves you with a really important question. Is your strategy built on just a feeling, or is it built on the right equation?